Welcome to Leasehold Red Flags, a series of videos highlighting some of the problems and advantages of residential leasehold ownership in the UK.
This video looks at the problem of lift design in multi-story residential blocks and situations that can occur with poor lift capacity and design. The correct number and capacity of the lifts in ratio to the number of apartments is essential for smooth running of the building and convenience of the residents. High-rise buildings over 4 stories have to consider the possibility of lift failure in their design and also make an allowance for more extensive maintenance works which may take several days to complete. Lift capacity and travel speed. Most high-rise residential blocks, say between 4 and 30 floors, have lifts with standard capacity of around 10 to 12 persons. The most widely used lift makes are Mitsubishi, Schindler, Otis, T-San, Hitachi, Kone. Larger luxury buildings may have lifts up to 24-person capacity to allow movement of furniture items, although very well-designed luxury buildings will also have a separate service lift or goods lift for movement of heavy furniture. How many lifts should my building have? As a rule of thumb, buildings with up to 40 units should have 2 lifts of standard smaller capacity, say 8 to 12 persons. This is slightly more capacity than necessary for the number of residents but allows for one of the lifts to be out of action for repairs or breakdown. Buildings with more than 40 units should add another lift for each extra 40 units, so a building of 80 units should have 3 lifts, a building of 120 units should have 4 lifts. Note: the number and capacity of lift cars obviously depends on the overall shape of the building. Lower buildings, up to say 5 to 6 floors, may have lifts in a number of different locations or zones. Case study: Merebank Court, Liverpool. This 15-story block of 80 residential units started life as a housing association block. It was later sold to a private developer who refurbished it in order to sell long leases on the individual apartments. The building originally had 2 lifts. However, during refurbishment, the developers took out one of these lifts to create an automatic smoke vent with a disused lift shaft. As a result, the flat owners and occupiers were left without any lifts when the single remaining lift was shut down for maintenance or critical system failure. Residents have to walk up many flights of stairs to get in and out of their apartments. The single lift once suffered a breakdown of around 2 weeks, leading to considerable inconvenience for the residents. Case study: West Tower, Liverpool. This 40-story block of 127 residential units is served by 2 passenger lifts and a service or goods lift. The building also contains a whole-floor restaurant on the 34th floor, which generates a considerable amount of passenger traffic for the building lifts. As a result, residents often face lengthy waiting times for lift cars, particularly at peak times for the restaurant. The above-average amount of lift traffic also means that the lifts are more prone to wear and tear, needing frequent maintenance works. Overall, the ratio of lifts to apartments would have been fine, but the additional restaurant traffic means that the capacity of the lifts is often overloaded. Case study: Nottingham 1, Nottingham. This 7-story building provides around 200 apartments arranged on a canal-side site. Due to the long and thin shape of the building, the apartments are served by 6 separate staircases and lift zones, each one serving around 35 units. As a result, if the lift in one particular zone fails, then the residents of that zone do not have a backup lift and have to climb the stairs to access their apartments. This inconvenience can last for several days and even weeks when spare parts are needed to repair a breakdown. The shape of the building also increases overall lift maintenance and repair costs, as there are 6 lifts whereas 200 units could be adequately served by 3 to 4 lifts in a taller building. Conclusion: Lifts are an essential part of the mechanical and electrical equipment within residential medium and high-rise buildings. Apartment buyers should try to check the overall reliability and maintenance of the lifts before buying. Long-term residents are the best source of information about living in the building and the history of any lift problems and failures. Buyers should also beware if the building has a relatively unknown brand of lifts, as these are often cheaper and more unreliable, needing higher levels of maintenance. Another source of information will be the building manager, but they are unlikely to reveal any serious long-term problems with the design or capacity of the lifts.
Thank you for watching this Leasehold Red Flags presentation. Please feel free to email if you have any specific queries or, if you would like a PDF copy of this presentation. Click subscribe and notifications to see more videos from the UK Real Estate channel.